Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. You can't live in fear. You can't live in fear. I'm gonna tell you what, a big issue with many people out here is that they live in fear. I'm gonna tell you what. Now, I'm always talking about in general success on my Sunday morning simulcast, but you can't be successful if you living in fear. You can't be, because if you living in fear, you're going to have fear of everything that's going to that could probably impede you on your path to success. If you living in it, in fact, your living in fear will actually make you less intelligent. That's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. I remember a minister said that a couple decades ago, and that always stuck with me. Like just having fear of stuff can actually lower your IQ points. I mean, that's how deep it is. You can't do it, because then if you living in fear, you're not going to take the steps it would take to become successful. You living in fear, you get thrown in that hole, you're not going to climb out that hole, because you will have a fear that you be thrown back in the hole, or climbing over that wall or whatever you have to do. You might even have fear of making money. Let me talk about that for a second. You get some people, they think, no, I don't want to make money, I'm just going to blow it. That's fear right there. You know, they ain't thinking they're going to manage it or anything. They thinking they're going to blow it. Indeed, you get a lot of people who are poor, they're struggling, and they'll say, well, it's better to be here. I don't want to make that money. I could lose it all. I could do this or that, or this could happen. Shoot, even in relationships, there's many people who might not have gotten with the ideal mate that could have went with them to the stars, because they have a fear that something may happen. Because, just doing relationships, just talking with men and women over the decades, many might meet that person who might be perfect for them, but they might be like, oh, they look too good, they'll cheat on me, or they got this going on, or I got this going on with me. It'll be something, but it's fear. You can't live in fear. Because I'm gonna tell you what, we don't know what the future is. No matter what, we don't know what's going to. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going to go. When we have fear, we're not going to go to the level that we can go to. When we have fear, we can get stuck someplace because we're afraid of what might happen. We don't know what's going to happen. As I'm recording this, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. Seriously, I don't know. I mean, I got my plan and everything, but I don't know. But I can't have a fear of it. I can't go in fear. Those who follow me for a while knew I had a stroke last year, back in 2023. I can't go every day worried about that. Yeah, there's always a possibility of it happening, but I have to keep going. You have to keep going. If you have a medical emergency, you get in an accident, you can't live with that fear. That'll stop you from going forward. We don't know what the future is. We don't know. You could even go to one of these psychics or something and they could do a reading for you. All they doing is reading how you are at that moment. But you don't know. You don't know until something happens. The future is malleable. But if you're living in fear, you can be stuck. You're not going to make the moves you're going to make. You're not going to do the things you got to do. All you can do is be brave and say, you know what? I'm going to do this anyway. Whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, you can't have that fear. I've seen too many people suffer because they had that fear. I'm gonna tell you what, anything could happen. Anything could happen, but you gotta go. It's a learning experience. In fact, when bad things happen, that's what I always say. It's a learning experience, and that's all you can do. But you living in fear, that's gonna hurt you. I've seen too many people, men and women, Men and women, they have a fear of something, and then that's really hurting them. Or they putting themselves in positions where they think it's going to alleviate the fear. No, it's not, because it was the fear that got them in that position to begin with. If you want to be successful in life, you want to live the best life you can, you cannot be in fear. You can't be worried about what can possibly happen. If you smart, you might say, okay, this can happen, but you can't live in fear of it. You know? In fact, some people live in fear of something, then when it really happens, it's not as bad as they thought. But the bad thing was they had the fear of it. Going through life, you have to be brave. You have to be brave. You don't know what's going to happen the next minute. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to be brave. You have to still go out. You know, you could be driving or something. You could still get in an accident, but you can't drive in fear of that. What the most you can do is just drive in a better way to alleviate that. That's how you fight fear in the future. That's how you fight it. You just do your best. You just do your best. You do your stuff you do the best that you can to prevent something bad from happening. But you can't do it out of fear. You can do it out of intelligence. You can think, oh, okay, well, I don't want this to happen. Let me do something this way. But not in fear. Because fear will actually stop you from actually doing something. You've probably seen it. You've probably experienced it. You've seen it yourself. I've seen it. I've seen it. Plenty of people. They had fear of something, then they wouldn't even make the move because they worried about it. No. That's not how you can get through life. You want to live your life the bravest. And I'm gonna be real. I don't really understand fear, especially when it's coming from people who claim to follow some type of religion or something. How you gonna follow God or whatever term you want to use, but have fear of something? No, it doesn't work that way. No. You have to be brave. You have to say, this is what I'm going to do in life. This is what I'm gonna step into it. You know, when you get thrown in that hole, hey, you know what? Yeah, you could be thrown back in that hole, but you could also be brave and just climb out of that hole. In fact, you can be brave and not get thrown in that hole to begin with. When you have to climb over that wall, you don't know what's on the other side of that wall, but you're not gonna know until you climb over that wall and see what's there. Because when people are brave, when they're not dominated by fear, they are actually surprised. It was like, oh, this wasn't that bad, you know? And I've had that happen a lot of times. It's like, yeah, that was a concern. And that's understandable, but I wouldn't let fear stop me. And if you want to be successful in life, you want to do the best that you can in life, you can't be dominated by fear, no matter what. No matter what. Yeah, bad things could happen, but you know what? Good things can happen, great things can happen. That's how you have to look at it, all right? So, don't live in fear, everybody. You can't live in fear. You're trying to be the best version of yourself. You have a mission. You have something that you're trying to do, all right? Don't live in fear, all right? So that's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the best version of yourself. Peace and blessings.